Life. It's a delicate balance between hardship and joy. A roller coaster ride that never fails to surprise you. But through it all, we must remember one thing. We are capable of resilience. But it's in those moments when we feel like we're knocked down that we must rise again. We must roll with the punches. Yes, life can be tough, unforgiving even. But it's in those struggles that we discover one true potential. I was born and raised in a very strong household that admired and honored the Lord with strong Christian values. I would later on in life accept Jesus as my own personal Lord and Savior. Growing up, I had a great home and family life. I always had a great support from my family. When I was in early high school, I started to develop feelings that I wasn't used to. I had what felt like a dark sunglasses on all the time. Other issues started to arise as well. I remember nights when I would lay in bed and my head would just be spinning with OCD type of thoughts. I would constantly throughout the day have these rapid thoughts of patterns in my head that I always had to make good or positive. And if any bad thought leaked in, oh no, I would have an extreme urge to start the cycle over again and make it positive. This was absolutely nonstop. It was exhausting. It was draining. My favorite time of day was always when I was asleep. And really all I wanted was to stay asleep. It's sad to say, but I even remember a moment when I told my mom that I just wanted to go to heaven so that this would all stop. I was that desperate for a solution. I needed relief from this turmoil that lived within inside of my mind. My mom got a doctor recommendations for me to see a psychiatrist. I went, and that was when I was diagnosed with depression, OCD, ADD, and anxiety disorder. I was prescribed a few different medications. after finding the right combination to what seemed like a well-balanced order of medications, which it was. Soon after, I started developing some bad habits to certain things. At the time, I had no idea that certain medications can be a driving force at increasing addictions. I knew that these addictions were developing would be a real issue in my life, but I had no idea that one medication could cause so much harm rather than good. Here I thought I was getting a solution for my disorders, which I was, but I never would have guessed that one little pill could cause so much turmoil. I even clearly remember asking my doctor one day if any of the medications that he prescribed me could possibly be a driving force for my behavior habits that I developed. I was so frustrated when he said that the medications don't do that. They just don't do that. Really, from that point, I just unknowingly ignored it and told myself that my doctor must be right, because we are taught to always trust the doctor and never question them. Many years later, after being on my own and now having a wife, I decided to research this one medication that I was prescribed, called Abilify, since it was brought to my attention that it might be the very thing that could be causing some of my bad habits. I was not prepared for the amount of clear evidence that I found pointing directly to the fact that Abilify causes an extreme increase of dopamine in the brain, which then causes addictions to form. Dopamine has a direct impact on what we feel as pleasurable or not. And dopamine reminds us when to return to something again because it felt good before, which in itself is not a bad thing. But when we have too much dopamine, it causes our brain to crave more of the same things, even bad, destructive things. Abilify clearly causes addictions to those that take it, such as sex addiction, including pornography addiction, shopping addiction, and gambling addiction, and food addiction, which I acquired all of these things from taking the Abilify medication, resulting in us returning back to it over and over again to the same addictive behaviors. I decided that it was really just the best thing for me to stop taking Abilify. Of course, with the supervision of my new doctor. I now have been experiencing life how it should be, addiction-free. It really does feel so good and so strange all at the same time. That one small little pill was the reason for all of my turmoil over the past 15 years. Life now couldn't be better. I'm of course still adapting to the changes that occur when you stop taking a medication that you've been taking for over half of your life. But I'm so grateful that the Lord was still writing my story. He wasn't done with me, even though it felt like it so many times that He had left me. I have learned so much through this process. I learned that it's never a bad thing to ask questions, especially if it's related to something as big as taking medications for as long as I did. I am now addiction-free, and I'm so thankful that God was not done writing my story.